With that down, let's get on to this. If you guys have been watching me for the last couple of months, you know one of the upcoming comedies that I've been insanely excited about is the Dave Bautista, Kumail Nanjiani comedy Stuber. Now, I got my first look at Stuber at CinemaCon all the way back in April. That's the first time I saw footage from it. And I loved it. I love the footage they've shown. They've put out a number of trailers for this movie since, and I've loved the trailers. I love Kumail Nanjiani. His movie, The Big Sick, is like one of the most underrated, most pleasant surprise movies of the past 10 years. If you haven't seen The Big Sick, you need to watch it, and Nanjiani is fantastic in it. You guys know I'm a crazy big fan of Dave Bautista. He's not the greatest actor in the world, but I just love the dude as a person. I love what he brings. I love the enthusiasm he has. I love the humility he has. I'm just in Dave Bautista's corner. I love the dude. So this is a movie I've been looking forward to seeing for a while. So last night, I get out finally to go see Stuber. And I don't know that I've been more disappointed by a movie yet this year. I'm not saying it's the worst movie I've seen this year, not at all, but compared to where my hopes were for this film and how psyched I was about it, it just really falls flat. Let's start with some positive things. Stuber is a movie that absolutely has some upside. It does. And it absolutely, as a comedy, has some laughs. There are a few laughs in this film that are pretty good laughs, no doubt. The problem is, as a comedy, there's simply not enough laughs. A number of the jokes hit great, but a lot of them are, you can telegraph from a mile away. They're kind of lame, kind of cheesy, and just don't work. And one of the big reasons some of the jokes don't work is Dave Bautista himself, but we'll get to that in just a second. The plot is completely nonsensical. Now, sometimes for comedies, you let that stuff go because, hey, it's a comedy. You're not as worried about plot in a comedy as you are just about the big laughs. But if the big laughs don't get delivered to you enough, you need to start having other things to shore up your movie, like a good plot, good characters, good narrative, things like that. And unfortunately, once you move past a couple of laughs, a couple of good laughs that the movie has, there's nothing left there to support it. Particularly the story, the narrative, the plot is just completely nonsensical. So bad it distracts you. It actually gets so bad that it distracts you. Let me talk about another positive thing here. The performance of Kumail Nanjiani. Clearly, he didn't have a lot of great material to work with. He wasn't given a lot of gold to work with here. But his pure on-camera charm is completely infectious. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying him and Paul Rudd are completely identical, but he and Paul Rudd share that kind of quality about them. There's the pure charm of them as performers on screen can carry a lot of material a long way. Paul Rudd's got that ability. Kumail Nanjiani's got that ability. A lot of times his jokes fell flat too, but you could tell he was doing them as well as they could possibly be done. So I'll give them that as well. One of the big problems, though, to the movie, besides the fact that the main problem is the narrative story, bad script, all that kind of stuff, is the fact that I think this movie has shown that Dave Bautista, who I adore, is not ready to be the lead of a film, to carry a film on his considerably broad shoulders. You know, Dave Bautista and John Cena are both guys, you know, coming out of the wrestling background that really did seem to find their groove in comedic supporting character role kind of stuff, and they started to develop, and you see it. But then what happened? John Cena, they threw him in a lead role for Blockers, and it became apparent that he wasn't ready to lead a film yet. He may get to the point where he can do it, but he ain't there yet. Dave Bautista has been getting better and better and better as a performer. He puts in a lot of hard work. He's dedicated. He's humble, all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, I think what Stuber has shown is that he is not ready to be the guy. I still like him very much in his smaller supporting roles. He has a lot to offer in those types of limiters roles, but he does not have the tool belt available to him as a performer yet that he can carry a film on his own. Yes, mainly the problem was the narrative and the story and the dialogue and all that kind of stuff, but where Kumail Nanjiani could take some of the poor dialogue and poor narrative and make it work as well as he could, with Dave Bautista, all it really did was expose the weaknesses he still has as a performer. Will Dave Bautista get there? I think so. Is he there yet? I think this movie makes it clear. And yesterday on the John Campea Show, we talked about the fact that Dave's other comedy that he has coming out called My Spy, which was supposed to come out in August. Yesterday, they announced that it's being bumped to 2020. I think this is part of the reason. I don't know that for sure, but it feels to me like this is going to be part of the reason. Look, overall, Stuber is not a complete dumpster fire, but it's a poor film and one that I was extremely excited about. I loved the trailers. I love the people involved, but it just falls flat. And I found myself in the movie theater mostly just waiting for the movie to end. And it's unfortunate. I wish it could have been better, but hey, it is what it is. And that's my thought. Not the worst film of the year, not a complete dumpster fire. There are some decent laughs in it, simply not enough though. Overall, bad film. Have you guys had a chance to see Stuber yet? If so, jump down to the comment section below and let me know what you guys think. All right.